both teams really going at it defensively. The Knicks' one weakness to me in that first half was their transition defense. The Magic, they had the recipe. Every turnover, every live rebound, we off to the races. And the Knicks that has to be their key focus in terms of their defensive improvement. But then in the second half, I thought it was a lot better. And the story going into this one was going to be, for me, how the Knicks were going to compensate with the absence of Cat because, offensively, for sure, you're going to be missing a lot. But then defensively, not because he's a stellar defender, but because of his size. And you got the contributions you needed across the board. I thought Huck was stellar. Mitch, Josh, you name it, they got the job done, man.
Everyone was able to contribute in this game, CP. You got some decent Yabu minutes to start this game off.
Yeah.
That's how good it was for the New York Knicks. But, looking at the entire thing, I mean, I know we're going to get into it later, but Hukporti, I thought, really stood out in this matchup, man. Just the way that he was, just his approach to the entire game. Because as you mentioned, no Karl-Anthony Towns. Who's going to step up? I thought Hukporti did a great job while Mitch was getting his rest. Most minutes I think we've seen from Mitchell Robinson in a while, got 25 minutes. There was a little question whether or not he was going to be solid to start off tonight. Had a little, rough going to begin, but then he did what he normally does, man, and ends the game with 13 boards, 8 of them being offensive. So defensively, we were right there, man, to compete with this team. So really good effort by New York in general. And I thought, even though they weren't good in transition defense, I thought their defense was able to actually take it up another notch because everyone was able to rotate, especially with OG back, a guy who can attack passing lanes. Same thing with Bridges, man. Bridges had a good steal on Suggs, who tried to make a cross-court pass to the opposite side wing. Like, you're starting to see this defense step up once you get OG back. So defense really stood out in this one for New York, man. And against a tough team Orlando, who likes to get out in transition, who likes to be physical, the fact that New York, even being shorthanded and continue to be shorthanded because you lose your best perimeter defender in McBride later on in the game, New York was still able to hang tight and still able to come through with the win in this one.
Who are you going to go with role play of the game? You going to go with Huck or Mitch?
I'm going to go with Huck, man.
Okay.
I'm going to go with Huck. Okay. All right, he won Defensive Player of the Game today. I'm going to meet Mike Brown's energy and say he's going to get my role player of the game. Last-minute call. We don't know if Karl-Anthony Towns was going to play. Questionable designation. You need another backup. I'm going to go with Hukporti in this one. And look, even though the numbers are not going to jump off the stat sheet for you, I thought what he offered tonight, if you just watch the game, like this is where you can't just box score watch. You got to see what he was doing. The hustling, cutting down the middle of the lane, forcing the Orlando Magic to have to get back in transition and account for him, okay? Watching how he's getting blocks. I mean, we could talk about the injury beginning of the game where he gets a good block on Franz. How about how he's holding his own ground against Paolo Banchero?
Yes.
In it, where, and Paolo just throws up an air ball, creates an easy transition for the Knicks. I don't remember if they were able to score on that one, but still, you're getting good minutes from Hukporti, who, look, for a guy who's doesn't really get that much playing time, to come in and understand the assignment saying, we've lost 2 games to the Orlando Magic, and we got to show them that we're just not going to roll over. I thought he did a phenomenal job. And look, like I said, the stat sheet's not going to jump off the page for you. He got 6 points tonight. I do like that he got 7 boards in 23 minutes, 2 assists, 1 steal, 3 blocks tonight, CP. Yeah. The 3 blocks is what's key because he was a force against their 2 top players and then some. So I like the way that Ariel Hukporti was playing tonight. Like Mike Brown, even though as Mike Brown chose him to be defensive player of the game, this is my role player of the game.
Yeah, that's a good call by you. And look, there are a lot of heroes in this game. You could point to Jalen, you could point to OG as well, obviously. But those guys, we give those guys a lot of accolades, and rightfully so. But I thought, as you said, Hukporti, he deserved the shine today, and he goes home again with the defensive player of the game, according to Mike Brown. Well-deserved by Ariel Hukporti. And for me, this, if you were to box up this effort here by Hukporti, when you think about the Knicks' need for depth in their front court, you just don't know what's going on, what happens with Mitch. Back-to-back nights, he's not going to be there. Now you have Towns with calf soreness. How long is he going to be out? If you were to box up this game, this is what Hukporti needs to do to get consistent, trustworthy minutes from the team. We got to talk about Mitchie tonight.
Oh, man.
In the words of the Glockster, we got to talk about Mitchie because you see Mitchie with the 13 boards, 8 of them on the offensive side, 2 assists, a steal, and a block. Listen, man, Mitchie, first off, he was moving well. From the Jazz game, I thought he was moving a bit better than he was early in the week. I don't know if that's effort, physical, who knows. But all I can say is how I see how he's playing. And on the switches, he was doing well, blocked a couple shots in the perimeter. The one block shot that he had on Suggs, they called the third foul on him, no problem. But to me, in a game like this, where Orlando's defense is playing well, they only shot 30% from 3, the 8 offensive rebounds, bro. And he hadn't had that much success against his team in the first 2 matchups. So, the 8 offensive rebounds to me, when you're out there against Wendell Carter, Bitadze, Jonathan Isaac, like that Magic front line with no Cat, it was vital. It was vital. I thought Mitch's effort on the boards tonight was really good. And then I love the fact that you got to feed the beast. Don't just have him out there doing cardio. So OG fed Mitch a couple times. OG had a couple of assists for Mitch there. So he got involved, and I thought that helped keep him loose and energetic on the defensive end. Mitch was good tonight, man.
He should have gotten that and one, CP.
Yeah.
He was going in the upward motion. I agree with Mike Breen because, you had Bridges cut, kick it to OG on the left wing. OG's like, let me get to my guy in the paint.
Yeah.
Mitch had that nice and one, but the refs didn't. Tony Brothers and the crew decided to say, nope, not tonight. But let me tell you which play stood out to me for Mitchell Robinson, CP. It was he worked the tip drill to get the rebound himself.
Yeah.
And then at the end of everything, while everything's unfolding, he somehow is back in the paint and gets the putback. That is the work of Mitchell Robinson, man. And tonight, I agree with you in the sense that tonight was a fantastic night for him, and that he looked at peak power Mitchell Robinson. Close to it, man. Not fully, but close to it. He's getting back on track. 25 minutes. Once again, I think that was the most that he's played tonight. I agree with you that this is a good night. I'm still going to go with Hukporti, man.
Okay.
Because let me tell you, 4-4 for the free throw line for my center. It's a little uncommon, man, outside of Cat. So
who are you guys going? Salute to everybody in the chat. Who are you guys going with as the role player of the night? Is it Mitch? Is it Hukporti? Leave us some comments in the chat. Call us up in the KFTV Discord. We kind of went a little backwards with the role player into the play of the game, but I think the overall context of role play of the game was really, to me, one of the number one stories of this game was how the Knicks were going to be able to compensate for the loss of Towns. And so it was a group effort. Mitch, Hukporti, Josh Hart. Shout out to him, 17 and 12 for Josh Hart, right? So you got those contributions from the front court, but there's also another front court player, bro. There's also another front court player, and he is Al. Shout out to Cap. 30 and 9 is cool. We're used to those things. We take it for granted. But the dog has returned in the nick of time, Alex. And in the Jazz game, he was rusty. We knew it. But as I said, he's coming back for this Magic game. 21 points for the dog. 5 of 7 from downtown. Snapping the nets once again from the elbows and the corners. Regaining form. 3 steals. He was on the floor, diving on the floor as a demon, attacking the basket. You had to love OG Anunoby's floor game today. And, just welcome back to the dog, man. Super happy to have him back. He was amazing today.
OG was awesome, man. You want to know why Paolo didn't have a good time tonight? Because he had to see OG Anunoby tonight.
He had him in the kennel.
He was not going to do a damn thing. And this is where you miss somebody like OG on the regular season, man. For those last couple of weeks, look, here's Paolo's stat line for tonight, okay? Paolo had 16 points, and you thought after Franz went out that they were going to force feed him, see if he could get even more points, work even better, and just get his team going. He really couldn't, man. Now, kudos to the Magic. They had other guys that were able to contribute tonight for some time until they couldn't towards the end of the third, beginning of the fourth. But this is what OG made Paolo look like tonight. 4 of 11 from the field. Only 16 points, okay? Got to the free throw line with 5 of 6. But Paolo was not Paolo tonight. Why? Because that was OG Anunoby. So happy to see him come back, man. Happy to see that his offense is back. He might have gotten a little ticked off after the Bane theatrics.
Well, what's up with that, man? We'll talk about
That's
that.
That's Bush League.
Finish your take on OG. We'll talk about the Bane stuff after.
But OG, man, happy to have him back. Phenomenal. 8 of 14 from the field is great. 7 boards, man. That's something that it's like when I see 7 boards from OG, I'm happy to
Yeah.
see that, man. I'm happy to see that.
3 steals, man. He got on the floor that early fourth quarter. Look, I know the Magic kept it interesting at the end. I got it, but I'm talking about like when the game was truly within balance, that early fourth quarter when the Knicks were able to balloon it out to a double-digit lead. I think they were up by like 14 in the fourth. OG, man. OG. He was phenomenal. And I don't know what was more impressive, the 5 for 7 from 3 or the way that he was attacking the basket, bro. He was yamming it on him. And this is against a good Orlando Magic wingy type defense.
Yeah. So, and look, I love the aggression from OG, man. And you see that he gets more and more confident. Like last year, he was doing a lot of these dunks in transition and against, while there's bodies in the paint, and he continues to do that. You're talking about 2 games in after the injury, and he's feeling good and he's doing that stuff. So you love to see it, man. But he's not my player of the game. I'm not going to be.
Hang on. Who's your player of the game, bro?
It's going to be Jalen Brunson. It's going to be the captain, okay?
Whoa.
All right,
say, let's talk about it.
Look, you say we get used to all these things, this, that, and the third. I cannot let it go unannounced who Jalen Brunson is, man. You're missing your second top offensive gun in Karl-Anthony Towns. So you know that the workload had to be on our guy, Cap, okay? And he started off the game hot. 16 points in the first. Second quarter, he got in late, didn't get to score any points, But third quarter, when it's like the game's getting close and you say, hey, we need some separation, quick 9 points, who are you looking at to facilitate all of that? Quick 10 in the third quarter, Jalen Brunson, okay? Who do they go back to when the game's starting to get out of hand that you need somebody at the line? Jalen Brunson. So I got to give Cap his credit, man. And look, he was that facilitator, got the 9 assists tonight. I thought, look, he's not going to be your best defender just because of his stature. There are going to be limitations, okay? I know it's not the prettiest game from the field, but he did get to the free throw line, making Jalen Suggs work. Okay, 9 of 12 from the free throw line. My guy was out there putting his body on the line. So I'm going with Jalen Brunson as my player of the game because you needed somebody to put up points, man. And once he gets going, the dominoes fall in effect, leading OG to get his.
Who do you guys think in the chat? Who is your player of the game? Leave a comment in the chat. Are you going with OG with me? Are you going with Al with the Cap? I'm with you in that, yeah, you needed it, along with how they were going to compensate for Towns for Towns' absence from a size standpoint. Offensively, you got to put the ball in the hole, and the Magic were not giving the Knicks an inch. You look at Deuce as an example, like they ran Deuce off that 3-point line, and for Cap, the difference is Cap just has that arsenal. He can get to his spots. Once he gets to his spots, now he's rising up and firing over length, over size, and so those are difficult shots, man. He had to hit everything he made was well earned tonight. That is what all-stars, that is what superstars do, where it's like you can play as good as defense as you want or as you think you are playing. He's just better. It's just better offense, and that's what we saw from Jalen Brunson tonight, man. Cap was sensational, and he's had a good series against the Magic so far through these 3 games. He's had a great series so far through these 3 games. So, as tough and pesky as Jalen Suggs is, Cap gets up for these games, man, and just did a great job. As you said, 30 points, the 9 assists, fantastic, carrying the team offensively. And overall, 10 of 23 from the field, only 1 of 7 from downtown. So he got a cracking inside, got to the free throw line 12 times, and did a great job. Only 2 turnovers, 9 assists to the 2 turnovers. So outstanding job for Captain Clutch tonight, for sure. Let's jump into the key stats of the night, Al. Hey, this one, as I said, was tough, man. Almost even down the sheet for both teams. The Knicks shot 43% from the field. Orlando, Al, shot 36 of 94. The Knicks 39 of 91. So this was a defensive dogfight. 31% from 3 for the Knicks, 29 for the Magic. Free throw line, 85% for the Knicks to just 67% for the Orlando Magic. Hey, that could have been the difference maker here in this game. Knicks did win the rebounding battle. Thank God, 52-48, especially without Karl-Anthony Towns. That was a good one there for me. And then assist-wise, 24-23. Knicks gets that one done. Turnovers and points off, pretty much even. 11 for the Knicks, 12 for the Magic. Knicks give up 12 points off of their turnovers. Magic gave up 11 off of theirs. The Knicks did lose the fast break battles, 12 to 17. But points in the paint, man, 50 to 42. And then largest lead of the night, Al, 16 for the Knicks and 4 for the Orlando Magic, which came, I think it was earlier in the game, that 4-point lead, their biggest lead. What do you think about the stats tonight?
I mean, my biggest takeaway is the rebounding battle, CP. Knicks are naturally a good rebounding team, but the Magic are right there being in the top 10. Knicks average about 46 boards per game on the season. They're tied for fourth with the Trailblazers, and the Magic average 45, so one board less. So against a physical, gritty team, you knew it was going to come down to who was going to win the glass battle, and that they did tonight. And so just seeing Mitch, Hukporti, Hart, as you mentioned, without Karl-Anthony Towns just going out there, that's the one that really sticks out to me in this matchup. Just because, look, when it gets to the postseason, I'm going to keep saying this. When it gets to the postseason, it's going to come down to the possession battle. And when you see Mitchell Robinson hustling the way he is for offensive boards and getting second chance opportunities, which also led the Knicks to win that one 52 to 42 tonight. It's the other stat that stood out to me. I just got to go with the battle on the glass, man, because this is against a physical team. This is not a team that rolls over. So that's the one that stood out.
Yeah, good points. Good points by you there. I'll go the points in the paint. As Coolvitz, man, said, that was a big difference maker in this game. You had the Magic just being able to get whatever they wanted. A lot of off of their dribble penetration in those first two games, whether it was Suggs, it was Bane, it was Anthony Black, the bigs. The Magic really had their way with the Knicks in the paint over those first two games. Then the Knicks tightened up. That was a big help from OG's defense, Mitch, Hukporti, and just even good perimeter play there by, Macau, Jalen, Deuce, whenever they could, just try to keep these guys at bay. I thought the Knicks defense overall was stingy, and keeping the Magic out of the paint, that's their A game. And once you cut that off, that they're going to be average. Maybe some nights they'll be hot from three, but overall relatively average. You're able to cut off that oxygen from the paint. You should be able to get enough to win the game. And the Knicks got out to as much of a 16-point lead. They closed it out. They won by 6. But to me, I'm going to go with the points in the paint. Points in the paint defense tonight. Good job by the Knicks. And shout out to Coolvitz, man, once again for pointing that out. The key stats of the night, Al, brought to you guys by our guys at Harry's Shave Club, man. Shout out to our guys at Harry's for sponsoring today's show. Check out Harry's Plus, fellas, man. Listen, man, razors are expensive. You want to go out there and look your best. And look, some of those drugstore blades will chop you up, man. Not chopped and screwed like, Houston, but like real chopped and screwed where you don't even want to go out to the holiday party. You got your neck looking like Christmas lights, okay? So but you got to try Harry's Plus, man, because it is different. They have advanced pivoting system that hits every angle, German-engineered blades that cut clean without tugging, and a weighted metal handle that feels premium. Real control, real smoothness. It's like a barbershop quality shave right at home. And the best part, it's still affordable. Harry's owns their own blade factory. As you know, that's been their claim to fame. So they cut out the middleman and keep prices low. Right now, our listeners can get the Harry's Plus trial set, Al, for only $10. You get the razor, a 5-blade cartridge, shaving gel, and a travel cover. Just go to harrys.com/KFTV to grab yours. That's Harry's, HARRYS.com/KFTV. Support the show and level up your shave with Harry's Plus.
Sometimes those early starts, especially at 12 o'clock, they'll come out a little bit sluggish. But no, I thought both teams came out with good defensive intensity, which was great to see. So, that was the first matinee game from Coach Mike Brown, but it seemed like he had him ready to go, which is great. Before the game, Karl Towns was warming up before the general was let in, and from everyone that was in there, they said he looked pretty good going through his normal routine. So I'm assuming it's probably erring on the side of caution. And then just making sure he's going to be good for that cup game. And anything that ever, revolves around the calf, you definitely always want to be cautious of, just the way that things are going in today's day and age. And then in terms of the game, I thought, I would have to give my player of the game to either, there's 3 of them. I thought Josh was really good too, 17 points. But how about the mid-range? I thought his mid-range has been really good this year. Today he had a bunch of mid-ranges, and he's just shooting the ball with insanely good confidence right now. Not hesitating at all. And then, Jalen was Jalen, got the game off to a good start. And then OG attacking the rack, shot looked good. So, yeah, I thought those three were excellent. And then, yeah, game got a little bit dicey there at the end, but they pulled it away. So I'll take it. And then now on to the big one in Toronto.
Yeah, and to your point about Josh looking good from the mid range, I just pulled up the stats here from Cleaning the Glass. Josh on all mid range right now is 20 for 45. He's 44% from mid range right now, so he's shooting pretty decently. He's in the 61st percentile, so on the upper end of competing with guys in the wing category. But Josh has been doing a good job, man. His shooting has been so much better this season, and I know it started off hot last year too, but it looks like he's shooting even with more confidence than he did last year. Like he's not even thinking twice once he gets the rock and he gets some open space.
Yeah, definitely for sure. And I know you've mentioned before, just giving credit to the shooting coach because despite having the big wrap on the finger, he shot the ball very well. Another one I'm a little worried about. I mean, like it comes in waves, but what like Jordan Clarkson, like yikes! Like there was one in the third or fourth quarter where he airball. It was a wide open look. He was like it was a UFO to the left. But he's getting good looks. They're just off right now. So hopefully he's able to turn it around.
Yeah. Yeah, hey man, that's a cardiac experience, man. Like I don't even flinch. Like Clarkson, he's 33, man. Like this is a cardiac experience, Like I said, against Toronto, he might drop 50 off the bench. You never know. But but without Deuce, if Deuce is not going to play, if Deuce is going to miss some time, hopefully not. X-rays are negative. Clarkson's going to have to come through. That's all we have in terms of offensive firepower off the bench. That's all they have. And Shaman isn't there. You got nothing left. You can't rely on Kola to get you 15 points. So Clarkson's going to have to be better. But again, this was a tough game for a lot of Knicks players. They only shot 31% from three as a team, as a collective. You had to get it in gritty tonight, man. It's hard.